Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us this morning as we kick off the celebrations of the 54th Annual Portuguese Immigrant Week celebrations. We are here at Root Park at the monument of the Portuguese immigrant statue to lay the wreath in honor of all the Portuguese immigrants that migrated to California throughout the years. In 1967, then Governor Ronald Reagan declared the second week of March to be Portuguese Immigrant Week, and we have continued celebrations over the past 54 years. At this time, I'm pleased to present to you to play the national anthems of Portugal and the United States, the Filarmónica Artista Amadora de San Leandro. This time it's an honor to present to you the mayor of the city of San Leandro, the Honorable Pauline Russo-Cutter, to make a presentation.
Hello, I'm Pauline Russo-Cutter, the mayor of San Leandro, and today I'd like to read our proclamation for Portuguese Immigrant Week, and also to tell you how much we value your involvement in our community. So whereas the gold rush drew Portuguese to California in the 1850s, where many eventually settled in the city of San Leandro to farm the fertile land and raise their families. And whereas a steady flow of relatives and new Portuguese immigrants came to San Leandro over the following decades, so that by 1911, Portuguese Americans comprised over 2/3 of the city's population. And whereas the city of San Leandro has long been proud of its Portuguese population that has been part of its heritage. Whereas the numerous accomplishments of the Portuguese in California are symbolized in the beautiful monument to the Portuguese immigrant in Root Park, which was given as a gift to the city from the Portuguese Union of the State of California, an organization that was founded in San Leandro in 1880. And whereas in March 1967, then Governor Ronald Reagan first proclaimed the second week of March as Portuguese Immigrant Week. And whereas each year ceremonies are held to express gratitude to those immigrants who came to the New World and who made better lives for themselves and their fellow Americans through their hard work and perseverance. Whereas the city of San Leandro is proud to once again host its annual festivities commemorating the Portuguese immigrant. So now, therefore I, Pauline Russo Cutter, Mayor of the City of San Leandro, on behalf of my whole City Council, do hereby proclaim March 7th through 14, 2021, as Portuguese Immigrant Week throughout the City of San Leandro. And I encourage all community residents to join the Portuguese community by participating in the activities that have been arranged in celebration of this week. Thank you.
It's a privilege to present to you State Assembly Member for the district here in San Leandro, the Honorable Rob Bonta, for a message.
Hi, I'm Assemblymember Rob Bonta. I serve in the California State Assembly and represent the great cities of Oakland, Alameda, and San Leandro. It's an honor for me to send my support and best wishes to you on the occasion of the 54th Annual Portuguese Immigrant Week. The story of immigrants coming to California and seeking opportunity through hard work in many ways is the story of California. Immigrants from Portugal worked hard and made sacrifices so their children and future generations could have a better life. They helped to build our great state, with many initially working in the fishing, dairy, and farming industries. Portuguese immigrants are part of the beautiful mosaic that makes up our diverse and vibrant state. It's also a special point of pride for me that so much of that history took place in San Leandro, the city I'm honored to represent. Back in 1880, the Portuguese Union of the State of California was founded by early immigrants. And in 1964, the beautiful monument commemorating the struggles, the hard work, and the successes of these early immigrants from Portugal was unveiled in Marina Park in San Leandro for all to appreciate. Thank you for sharing your proud history with all Californians. I want to wish you a pride-filled and meaningful commemoration of this year's Portuguese Immigrant Week. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of it.
Representing the Luso American Financial, we have the chairwoman of the board, Linda Vieira.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Linda Vieira, Chairman of the Board of Directors for Luso American Financial, and I am in front of Five Wounds Portuguese National Church to commemorate the contributions of our immigrant forefathers in view of Portuguese Immigrant Week. Things are a little different for all of us this year with the pandemic, but we are trying to make the best out of what we can do. So I encourage everyone to embrace their roots and their heritage and subscribe to any fundraisers that are going on in your local area so that we can continue, once the pandemic has subsided, in our traditional celebrations. I wish you all peace and happiness, and I would like to just take a moment and reflect on the contributions of our forefathers, like my father, who was an immigrant from the Azores as well. I can just thank them for their foresight and for the ground that they laid before us, and we just need to maintain what they did. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing all of you personally soon.
It's also an honor to present to you the Supreme President of the Portuguese Fraternal Society of America, PFSA, Dr. Monique Valance.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for watching. So glad that you can be here with us. I usually don't like to do anything unless I know why we do it. And I've known for years that we have this statue here, that we come and do this ceremony. And I wanted to know, where did this come from? Where did the statue come from, and why are we here? So I did some research and I found out the history of the statue. So in 1961, Carlos Almeida, who was at the time was the executive secretary of the UPEC, which is now part of PFSA, he went to go visit his friend, Mary Rogers. Now, Mary was a Portuguese woman married to an American man, and she had told him that she had this dream of having a statue erected in honor of the Portuguese immigrant. But she had tried to see if anyone in Massachusetts was interested or anybody in California, but she hadn't really found much interest. But Mr. Almeida was very interested in this project, and he thought it was a great idea. So he decided that he would try to go to UPEC, to the board of directors, to see if we could make this possible. Now, first what he did was he before he did anything else, he went to the mayor of San Leandro, who was Mr. Maltester, and asked him if they would consider having the statue placed in San Leandro. So the mayor went to the city council and they agreed to it, but they said that UPC had to raise all of the funds. So then Mr. Almeida went to the UPC board of directors and made the proposal to them. Now the board of directors did end up forming a committee in order to raise the funds for this statue. The statue was commissioned by a Portuguese sculptor named Numidício Bessoni, and they arranged for him to make the sculpture and then, of course, to try to ship it over to the United States. It was going to cost about $5,500, which in today's dollars is over $47,000. Now, the UPC wanted this to be just their thing. They didn't want anyone else to take credit for this because at the time there was a lot of rivalry between the fraternal societies. And so they formed a committee among the UPC and they tried to raise funds among UPC members only. The problem was that the funds weren't really coming in that quickly. And they knew that if they wanted it to be done anytime soon, they would have to be a little more creative. So what they did was they came up with the idea that if they would, anyone who gave $100 or more would have their name engraved on the statue itself. And that brought in a lot more donations when people heard that. So eventually they were able to raise $5,500 of $44 for this project, which was amazing at that time. Included in that money was $200 that came from the Cabrillo Civic Club, as well as the Voz de Portugal, which was a newspaper here locally in the Bay Area at the time. So bringing the statue over was another situation. It was 20 feet tall. As we can see here, it's 20 feet tall. And so shipping this from Portugal to California was no small feat. It came in 41 different crates. So when it arrived in San Francisco, the Department of Public Works was trying to figure out how to put this thing together, and they just could not figure it out. And they were afraid to try because they didn't want to put together a 20-foot monument and then have it be wrong. So there was a lot of delays due to that, and actually at one point they even considered bringing the sculptor from Portugal just to have him tell them how to do it. Luckily they didn't have to. They found this company in Hayward named Braz and Silva's Monuments, and the owners of that company came over, they looked at the statue, and they decided that they would give it a try. They thought they could do it, and they did. As you can see here, luckily they didn't have to bring the sculptor from Portugal, and they were able to construct it correctly. The only hiccup they had was that during the construction, one of the cranes slipped and it hit the foot. Right here you can see they hit right here this right foot, and it cracked and it broke. So luckily they found someone in San Francisco who was able to fix it for $250. And then they established it here in Root Park in San Leandro. Now, originally the city council had thought of possibly putting it by the marina, but they settled on Root Park. And at the time, the UPC headquarters was just across the street, so it seemed like the perfect place. And it gets a lot of traffic, a lot of people see it. So it's a really nice place to have it. So the assembly of the statue was completed in December 27th of 1963, and a ceremony was planned for March 15th, 1964. So they had a ceremony to commemorate the statue. It was attended by over 1,500 people. It was not just UPC, but a lot of people, members of the Portuguese community, came to attend this ceremony. They had the UPC band. The mayor came. The supreme president of UPC at the time was Manel Neves, and he and the mayor both participated in commemorating the statue. The UPC band played, and it was even attended by the Consul General of Portugal from San Francisco. Now, apparently, he was not planning on attending. And the ambassador of Portugal himself, the one in Washington, D.C., actually sent orders for the Consul General to appear. So he managed to change his plans and come. So this was really important, even to the ambassador of Portugal, that the Portuguese government be represented here at such a historic event. This is really the testament to the Portuguese community and how they were able to come together to raise funds to really honor Portuguese immigrants, which is a wonderful thing, because we all know that, you know, our ancestors, our parents, our grandparents, even those of you, many of those of you watching, coming here was not an easy feat. And I always think about what it would be like at my age to move to another country where I don't speak the language and take my family and have to start all over again. And sometimes, you know, working in a menial job or working on the dairy or things like that, it's just amazing. So this statue is definitely worth it, and I give all my kudos to those Portuguese immigrants out there who helped make our Portuguese community what it is today. Thank you.
This time we'll have a message from the Honorable Consul General of Portugal in San Francisco, Dra. Maria João Lopes Cardoso.
Quero desejar a todos uma feliz semana do imigrante português. Tenho a maior admiração pelos imigrantes portugueses, pelos vossos antepassados que tiveram a coragem de vir até à longínqua Califórnia à procura de uma nova vida e de um futuro melhor. E tenho também muito orgulho em todos vós que tão bem representam Portugal nos Estados Unidos. Today I came to pay homage to the Portuguese immigrants. I am proud and honored to be the Consul General of Portugal here in California. The Portuguese community in California helped make this country. The work and effort of our community were recognized by the Governor of California, Ronald Reagan, who proclaimed the second week of March as Portuguese Immigrant Week. Please keep safe. We'll get over this pandemic together. Bem-ajam e feliz semana do imigrante português.
Today we're going to leave you with some video clips of immigrants that migrated from Portugal, the Azores, and throughout the world to California. So please enjoy all of our ancestors that had the courage to leave their homeland for a better life here in California. Thank you.
We can say that the arrival of the Portuguese in the western United States, and California in particular, began with the discovery of gold in 1848 and the subsequent influx of people from many nations. The Portuguese were very well situated to come to California because they didn't leave, as virtually every other nationality, they didn't leave from their home country. They left from the whaling ships upon which they were serving at the time. And so many whaling ships, captain, crew, and all, headed for San Francisco Bay and left their ships and went up to the Sierra to go hunting for gold. In the first census, which was taken in California, the first United States census was in 1850, not long after the beginning of the gold rush. There were about 150 Portuguese here, and in 1860 about 1,580 Portuguese. Most all were from the Azores. A few from Madeira, and a few Cape Verdeans, very few from the continent, because these were all ex-whalemen. California, since the 1820s, consisted of a series of missions and the activities, agricultural activities around each mission, which included agriculture, sheep raising, and involving a certain amount of the Native Americans within this system. It certainly isn't the California that we know today. It wasn't until the end of the 1950s, with the eruption of the volcano on Capelinos on the island of Fayal, with a special act allowed many Azorians to emigrate who had lost their lands there. And that was the harbinger of the opening up generally of immigration and making it much into the United States, making it much fairer. A quota of 15 or 16,000 per year for each country was established, and the Portuguese for several years used their quota.
Today's wreath ceremony is presented to you and sponsored by the Portuguese Consul in San Francisco, the Luso-American Financial, and the PFSA, Portuguese Fraternal Society of America. We also extend our sincerest appreciation to those that are here today to commemorate our wreath ceremony. We have from the PFSA Fraternal Activities and Marketing Director Jerry Escobar, from the Luso-American Financial, besides Linda Vieira, Chairman of the Board, we also have the Executive Secretary, Mina Machado, from PFSA, Supreme President Dr. Monique Valence, the Consul General of Portugal in San Francisco, Dr. Maria João Lopes Cardoso, and we also a special thank you to Helder de Souza of Luso Media Productions. Please take the time to give a special thank you and respect to all the Portuguese immigrants that migrated here to California and that have contributed to the success of our state. Thank you for joining us. God bless, and God bless all the Portuguese immigrants.